Well, a very good Saturday afternoon. Welcome back to Les Sables d'Olonne. It's a breezy day. We're now experiencing the start of Storm Bert, but it seems like it's always breezy in Les Sables d'Olonne at the moment. Out on the race course, we're into a nice southeasterly trade winds regime. We've got Charlie Dallin in front, pushing hard. He was just poled at 24, 25 knots. I mean, in 15, 16 knots of breeze, flat water. So really perfect conditions for the leaders. Sam Goodchild going well as well in an older generation boat. The top five are within 50 miles of each other, and it's really a great battle just now as we work down towards this low pressure system, which we're going to hook into tomorrow. But all in all, it's started to develop into a race of two fleets, a daggerboard fleet a little bit further back, and that is going to continue to evolve. Now, we have a couple of guests today. One is a little bit under the radar. We're going to wait and see how that pans out. A secret squirrel mission for Pip Hare. We've got our sister, Rachel Durneen, with us just now, but don't tell Pip for the moment. So it's a little bit of a surprise for her. Rachel, unfortunately, could not come to the start for the second time. She's got a back injury, and obviously in the 2020 race, we had the global pandemic. So a little bit of a treat for both the sisters on this Saturday. And in the meantime, in the Royal Southern Yacht Club, in Hamble, the mecca of British yachting, we have none other than Miranda Merron, who of course did the last Vendée Globe. Miranda, how are you? Not quite got sound.
It's pouring with rain here.
Yeah, yeah, sorry, Miranda, you can just repeat that. I think you've got Storm Bert as well, don't you?
We do have Storm Bert. It is howling outside, blowing dogs off chains, but it's not very cold. It was snowing 2 days ago, which is something that the Vendée Globe fleet will perhaps be looking forward to in a few weeks' time.
How do you look back on your Vendée Globe, Miranda? I mean, four years ago, you were out there in the early stages.
Yes, well, I would really have loved to have been out there again, but once is already pretty lucky. I found the Atlantic pretty hard. It took me a while to get into the race. And once you've crossed the equator, you're in the South Atlantic and starting to think about what's coming. So, you know, lining up to get into the Southern Ocean. And so you start feeling mildly apprehensive about the conditions you're going to be facing in a few days' time, or in a couple of weeks' time. But it's an amazing race, and Pip's doing an amazing job.
How long did it take you to get into the race then, into that rhythm?
It took me the whole of the Atlantic really to get into the race, and then when I reached the Southern Ocean and the Indian Ocean, I gave myself a good mental kick up the backside, and new ocean, new regime, eat properly, sleep properly, make good strategic decisions, and I absolutely loved it. I was totally transformed.
Great stuff. Miranda, we'll come back to you in just a few seconds. I do believe that we have Pip here on board Medallia. Pip, how are you today? How's it going? It looks like pretty good conditions.
Oh, it's amazing, Andy. So here, Miranda's course as well. Hi, Miranda. Hope you're doing all right. Yeah, it's great conditions. I mean, we are kind of in the classic down the Brazilian coast reaching phase. The sun is shining. The breeze has just dropped off in the last hour. Before now, I was kind of doing quite a happy 20 knots, but we're struggling a little bit for speed now. But yeah, it's all good.
Pip, we were just hearing that there's Storm Bert coming through in England. They've seen snow, so everyone's super envious of you.
I know, I can't believe it. I'm getting photos through from my family of snow kind of all over the UK, because they're all based all over the UK. And yeah, it sounds like it's super windy and wet, and we've got something quite different. And it is, you know, this stretch it's amazing sailing, but I found, interestingly, on my last race, I found this stretch frustrating, and I'm finding it a little bit the same now, because it's kind of, you're limited by the power of your boat. And so, yeah, kind of for me, it means there's, you know, separation between me and the front of the fleet, which is exactly how I felt last time on this stretch. So I'm just trying to calm myself down a little bit from those frustrations.
Exactly, Pip. It's the weekend. You have to just keep a nice weekend vibe going.
Oh, I've got that in spades, Andy, don't worry. I've got a little bit of bricolage to do as well this afternoon. So my furling line broke. I've just got it all in the cockpit here ready. Look, a new one there to replace. So this afternoon I'm going to go and get thoroughly wet on the front of the boat and change that furling line out.
Oh, well, listen, a quick word from Miranda, who obviously is super impressed with your race so far.
What a great race so far, Pip. Just so pleased for you and for the other girls who are doing really well. And I'm out there in spirit with you. I'd love to be there in person, but you guys have had such amazing conditions as well. I hope you've really enjoyed it. And it's an awfully long race, so enjoy every last moment of it.
Oh, thanks, Miranda. We really miss you as well, actually. It's so nice to hear your voice. It's amazing how different it is. You know, I said this stretch is the same, but the way down to the equator was so very different this year. But I kind of went into it knowing it was going to be different.
So, Pip, what about this date with this low pressure system? How's your schedule looking for that?
We'll see. I kind of feel like I need to push on to make the most of it. I think so. I've been looking at it for a number of days, and kind of some days I'm there in good time to make the most of it, and then other days it kind of gets away a little bit. I mean, the only answer, as ever, is so far.
Hey, listen, Pip, we've got a little bit of a surprise for you today. Somebody who unfortunately couldn't be at the start in 2020 and couldn't be at the start this time. A quick hello from Rachel.
Hello. Hey.
Oh,
Hi. How are you?
Oh,
You look great.
I'm really good, actually. Yeah, I've got into my rhythm. I'm kind of where I'm in my happy place. I'm doing the thing that I was born to do. I missed you so much at the start. It's really nice to talk to you.
Yeah, you look so happy, and we're all so proud of you. You're doing such a great job.
Make me cry.
I know. I said I wasn't going to cry either, so.
Anyways,
just so good to see you. Just so good to see you.
Anyway, Pip, it's just a little bit of a surprise for you, just to keep you super motivated as you get on down towards this low pressure system. We've also got a few guests, a few random guests from the Royal Southern Yacht Club, where Miranda is, and they want to say a quick hello.
Excellent.
We have somebody from the, I believe the AGM for the Royal Southern is about to start. Somebody say hello to Pip Hare on board Medallia. Miranda's just finding someone.
Sounds like they're all at the bar.
They are, exactly. Where else would you be on a Saturday if you're not sailing?
An AGM, aka an afternoon at the bar.
Have we got somebody there, Miranda, want to say hello to Pip?
Yes, I'm going to pass you over to Louise, who's going to say hello. Yeah, I'll have to do it with the headphones because there's so much noise here in this bar.
Hope you've got clean ears.
We're in a bar, Pip, at the Royal Southern. Here you go. Hello. How absolutely fabulous to be live connected to you. What's the highlight of today?
Oh, so there's just been some spectacular sailing this morning. It was great. And I actually went out on deck for a bit just to kind of check everything. And, you don't want to slow down. I've got people breathing down my neck, so you're not going to slow down to do a deck walk. But I went on deck and got absolutely hosed. And the water is so warm. And the boat was flying. And I was just laughing my head off. You can't recreate these moments. They're amazing.
Great stuff. Well done, Pip. We'll leave you there. We'll catch you in a few days, hopefully. But you're doing a great job, and everybody's pushing for you.
Oh, amazing! Thank you so much, Andy. Thank you to everyone. Good to talk to you all.
And now your sister's going to embarrass you, hopefully.
Yeah, I know, with a story about me not putting the bung in a topper and sinking it, probably.
Go on. All the best, Pip. Anyway, Rachel, that seems like
Okay.
a cue to come back to you, Rachel.
Yeah, she's yeah, we always tease her about not putting the bung in the topper. When she was little, well, when we were both much younger, we sailed on Grafham Water, and there was a message sent to me saying your little sister's crying and she's sinking. And she'd forgotten to put the bung in the topper and she'd sunk the boat.
Fantastic.
Had to go back and rescue her.
She's come a long way since then.
She has indeed.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us, Rachel. Maybe we'll catch up at some point, and all the best to all your family at home.
Thank you. Bye.
So Miranda, coming back to you, hopefully in the Royal Southern. Hopefully you've moved away from the bar area. Your thoughts on this race so far? It's super close. It's going to be a very, very engaging Vendée Globe.
It's just an amazing race to follow. You know, I'm totally hooked to the tracker. I'm so impressed with everyone's performance, and also the other thing is, you know, it's amazing. There's still 39 out of 40 boats, which is just awesome.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very, very busy in the south, and a big task ahead for our race direction team. But let's have a look in the meantime at the weather just now, how things are looking as of this morning. Say it's all about connecting with this low pressure, and this is the weather. So looking at Saturday's weather, will the leaders down into a lifting trade wind, all of the boats generally through the doldrums, with the exception we can see here of Jackie, our Chinese competitors, just coming down into the doldrums. So this second group here is very much the boats with the dagger boards, and these are the leaders down here. Now past Fortaleza and Recife here, getting down towards this low pressure, which you can see is forming down here. So they're in quite an easterly breeze at the moment, maybe 15 knots, something like that, perhaps a little bit less. So that's the situation at the moment. Looking quickly here at the cloud cover, you can see the doldrums less active, and all of these boats well out of it. There you see Recife on the south or northeast corner of Brazil. Looking now at the animation. So this was the situation very much yesterday as they approach in the easterly breeze. So this is Charlie Dallin behind probably one of the boats about 10th, just watching their approach to this low pressure system. Of course, as we get towards the low pressure system, the breeze here is very unsettled, and so how the leaders attach themselves onto the low, it's going to be hard work initially. And as I say, just watching there, Charlie, or the leading boats coming down, the low pressure forming here, all the time the breeze lifting and giving them downwind conditions initially. Looking at the best of the daggerboard boats, now they're going to end up with a much more classic situation, because the high pressure, the St. Helena high pressure, is quite displaced to the east. Now that's great for the boats out in front. They're able to sail a more direct course towards, you can see Charlie Dallin here, more directly towards the Cape of Good Hope. But meantime, the daggerboard boats are losing. You're going to end up with two races in effect. Daggerboard boats having to come a more classic course directly down towards the south to get round the St. Helena High. But the date with Destiny is tomorrow, getting into the low pressure for the leaders. So that's the weather now. Isabelle Joschke, the Franco-German skipper. Of course, the race followers will remember that she didn't make it all the way around the Vendée Globe course. She ended up with a problem with her keel rams in the South Atlantic. She had to go into Salvador de Bahia and repaired with her team, and she went on to complete the course. But of course, the race remains unfinished business in every sense, but it was never a given that Isabelle would come back and race again. But I think even MACS of her sponsors were asking her. But I think it reached a point where she was just thinking, like just now, what would it be being on land at this point? And I think that was when she made her decision. So she's out there, she's on good form. She's had a little bit of a slow start as she did last time. And this is Isa this morning. And she took 80 eggs with her.
Oh, very, very nice feeling. Conditions are perfect today, and this night it was going very fast. Yeah, very, very nice. Very happy to be here, and I'm trying to enjoy these conditions before the things before they change.
And how did you celebrate going across the equator?
I opened a very nice box of very good chocolates from Brittany.
And how were your doldrums? Were they okay?
Could have been worse, but it was not so easy because there was a first part of the doldrums and then I thought I was out of it. But finally it gave me the impression that they were following me. Not this night, but the night before I did not sleep a lot. There was many squalls, much rain, and it was not going very fast and not at a good direction. So it was really not easy.
And Isa, we're 2 weeks into the race. How do you feel? How's the first 2 weeks of your second Vendée Globe been?
Oh, they have been very, very nice, except for maybe the first days, which has been not easy for me, just getting into the race and then having troubles with one of my sails. But since then, I'm having really fun, and it's nice and smooth sailing right now since, I don't know, since 10 days or at least 1 week. So I just enjoy because I know in a few weeks it will be something else.
And is it eggs for breakfast?
Yeah, there are many eggs. They are so good. I really enjoy them, and sometimes there's omelette, sometimes I just change every day. And sometimes I just have a bowl of cereal as well.
Well, there you go. Isabelle Joschke on great form. Say a little bit of a slow start for her. Took her some time to get into rhythm. Miranda Merron, your thoughts on Isabelle Joschke back out there and giving it everything?
Isabelle is a formidable sailor. I watch her closely. You know, she can really do some amazing things. Last time round, unfortunately, she suffered keel damage, but when she did, she was right up there with the leaders, and excellent sailor. And I'm so glad she's enjoying being out there because she really deserves it.
And she's only a slip of a lassie. She's pretty small, isn't she? Considering what's required.
She is quite small, and that's not new in women in long distance short-handed offshore racing. There are quite a few small people. She's women of her size, or she just comes up with ways of dealing with her lack of physical strength, as we all do, and she's got a pretty good brain, and she's very zen as well. You know, I really hope that she carries on having an amazing race. Just watch her; she'll catch up.
She will catch up, as you say. She did a good race last time. She was in the top 10 at Cape Horn when she first had her technical problems last time, and then really it was pretty tough for her. But great to see her back out on the race course.
Absolutely, and I'm so pleased that she's enjoying it. You know,
yeah, I mean, for sure, I think that she said that in the first few days she was really questioning whether she should be back out and doing it, but she's just got into a rhythm, and really she's at a phase that she's really enjoying. And I think she's probably a little bit better prepared for the south, because last time she found it very, very cold.
Yes, it's good to have tried it before today, kind of how to prepare yourself a bit. So saying, the whole point is that you forget about the bad bits, because otherwise nobody would go back.
That's right, we call it Type 2 fun. Anyway, look at the rankings just now as of midday with Charlie Dallin out in front. So day 13 Saturday, the standings at midday French time. We can see Charlie Dallin on top. He's moved out about 30 miles ahead now of Thomas Rion. Johan Richomme is up to third place. Sébastien Simon is in fourth. Sam Goodchild dropping to fifth. But there's less than 50 miles between first and fifth at the moment. Jeremy Bayou sixth, Yannick Bestaven in seventh. And moving down the table, you can see the Justine Metro is about 100 miles behind now in 10th. Sam Davis just behind her. Boris Herrmann moved up to 13th. He's still got quite a big distance behind. He's 197 miles behind. Pip Hare in 15th, 230 miles behind. Isabelle Joschke, who we spoke to today, inside the top 20 and going steadily. Looking down the table then for our internationals, Giancarlo Padotti in 27th, Conrad Coleman in 28th, Alan Rura 29th, Kojiro Shiraishi in the 32nd, Oliver Heer, who we spoke to today, 36th, Jin Kun Chu, our Chinese skipper, in 38th, and Shabolix Weoris just at the top of the Cape Verde Islands is Chabi, and he's coming round probably to the west, but he's in good shape generally. So there we go, the rankings. Now, Miranda Merron, I think 2016 there was no women in the race. Last edition there was many more. In this edition we've got 4 in the top 15. The women having a really competitive race with good boats.
Yes, it's fabulous to watch, and they're all very different sailors, but good friends as well. There's a lot of solidarity amongst everyone in the fleet and amongst the women too. Just so impressed with the performance, and they've all been putting in a lot of hard work on their boats and spending time out on the water, out racing, and it's clearly paying off.
And you're back home in Hamble. Do you see anybody coming through? A young Miranda Merron, a young sailor coming through, perhaps you could imagine doing the Vendée Globe in the next edition or the edition after?
Well, we already have one who hung out a lot in Hamble, working on boats, particularly on Class 40s, and that's Sam Goodchild. And so he's from Grenada originally, but he's spent a lot of time in Hamble, so he's almost a local and putting in a fabulous performance. I'm sure that there are plenty of young people who would love to do the Vendée Globe, and hopefully, again, this edition, there's a lot of people here following it, and I'm sure that there'll be people who will hopefully be lining up for it in the future.
Indeed. Well, somebody who is actually almost a Hamble local, although he's Swiss-German, is Ollie Heer. Ollie was attached to Alex Thompson Racing and spent a long time in the south coast of England, still lives there. And he's going pretty well just now on Tut Gut. And we asked Ollie how things are going.
Yes, all is good. Yeah, absolutely.
How good?
I have the doldrums behind me, which is great. Now we're trucking upwind.
And how were the doldrums for you?
Not too bad, to be fair. Not too bad. I had worse experiences, to be fair. It was not too painful, not too slow. I never completely had at a standstill, so I was always moving. So the least wind was 5 knots and the highest was 25, so it was okay. Yeah, I just sail my own race, I think focusing on one guy is not a smart idea. I have to sail, the race how I feel it to be best. Lots of boats around me, which is good, keeps me busy.
Have you done a visual contact with your dog?
A couple of times. I watch a video call every now and then, my wife, and then, the dog's always right there, so... Yes, dog's doing well, almost as well as I do.
Well, there you go, Ollie here on board the Tut Gut. From Hamble, Miranda, what do you think of Ollie's race so far?
I think Ollie's doing a great job. He was kind of at the cutoff for qualifying. He had to work really hard. He had a really hard race in the Transat CIC back in April, May. And found himself racing without any power and with a lot of problems on board. And he managed to overcome those problems and, push way beyond his limits to finish that race, and by doing so qualify. So, hats off to Ollie. And I might go and find his wife later for a drink, by the way.
Exactly, that seems like a good idea. But the big star of the race so far on the French side, Miranda, is Violet Orange. And I think her Twitter and her Instagram and her Facebook accounts, her social media following is now up at something like 700,000 or 800,000 since the start of the race. But she's obviously a newcomer to coming across the equator, struggling. I think she's also a non-drinker like Sam Goodchild, and she was struggling to open her bottle of champagne for King Neptune.
Ah.
Miranda, your thoughts on Violette d'Orange?
She's having a great race. What a great thing to do, you know. She's worked hard to get that to, and I hope that her offering to King Neptune will keep her safe all the way around.
We meant to pull up Pip Hare about her offering to King Neptune, which I think was a cup of tea and a piece of cake. But you have some stories about going across the equator. You've been across a few times.
Indeed. So on the last Vendée Globe, on my way down the Atlantic, I offered some fairly average red wine to Neptune, and from my little bottle of red wine, and then I shut the bottle, put the lid back on the bottle, and then I offered the rest of that wine to Neptune after Cape Horn, and by which time it had obviously turned to vinegar and was no longer very palatable. And the end result was that I had a horrendous time all the way up the Atlantic as punishment for this. And so the lesson is, do not offer red wine that's turned to vinegar to Neptune. He won't like it.
Exactly. Anyway, great to speak with you, Miranda. Hopefully you'll join us during the course of this race. There's a long, long way to go. Tomorrow my guest will be Scott Scheuer, the Canadian who is planning to do the 2028 race. He'll be at home in Canada. So join us then, 13:30 UTC, 14:30 if you're in France. We'll see you then. Happy Saturdays.